So the advice I give is to really find out what it's all about so that you know what you would be applying to do and what you'd be committed to do. Particularly around whether there's two routes of entry. There's a soldier entry route and there's an officer entry route. And it's really important you know which is which, because the training pathways are different, the career development pathways are different in the army generally. And then in terms of nursing, I think, again, it's really important to think about deployments, about the potential for ending up in a war conflict situation, in a hospital in the middle of a desert, or on a ship, or in the air, looking after really, really sick patients. And although you go in and you get the training to do that, you wouldn't be on your own, you have to think about whether that's something that you want in your life or that you're prepared to work at and develop at and take pride in. I think it's a great opportunity for me personally and for all the others around me that I see are military nurses, but it isn't for everyone. And before you commit, it's important you understand.
The differentiation between being a civilian nurse and a military nurse, from what I see, is like it's just that extra bit of kind of commitment and like that extra bit of work, because you've got your nursing responsibilities and then you've also got your military responsibilities. Although we're practicing in the clinics, our OC always says to us like he wants a well-rounded like service personnel. So it's all right that you're like good at your clinical stuff, but you need to be physically fit. You need to be like mentally like resilient to be able to be that well-rounded soldier, sailor, or in the RAF. So I think it's just being prepared to kind of go that extra step. But I think anyone could do it if they put their mind to it.
I would absolutely advocate anybody who wants to become a military nurse. I've joined at 38, which traditionally is quite a late age to join the military, but the benefits you get compared to being a civilian nurse in today's environment completely outweighs. You know, you got opportunities to travel, you got better pay, you've got no student debt, you get a lot of support in terms of your study, your learning, access to military libraries in terms of research, and like I said, the diversity of people that you will meet, is great. It's great. You just wouldn't meet these people ordinarily, and the most extraordinary people. Is great.
I think my advice would be, first you need to make sure that it's definitely for you. Do your research. Definitely do your research. Get running. Get into the gym. Maybe treat yourself to a little Tough Mudder or something.
Becoming a military nurse is a real honour. It's a real privilege, but it's got so many different opportunities. I think opportunity is one of the things that really does provide you, because you can almost be what you want to be, you know, with the help of the military. Obviously, you have to do your basic training and you have to do the basics, but then the opportunities that you get, and certainly from my career, I would never have done what I've done had I been, in the NHS. And it provides you that leadership role, but also provides you adventure, and it provides you with fun. I recently went to Saudi to talk to an inaugural nursing course, but it was lots and lots of military people there, and I'd forgotten how much fun, that actually being in the military was, because you're all together, you're all one family. It's that camaraderie, and it gives you that real sense of purpose. So I think, yes, if you're looking to do something different, then being a military nurse is a great opportunity. And you don't have to do it like me for 27 years. You can do it for a much shorter period of time. But it gives you, and it will always, when you leave, it will give you that confidence that actually you can do anything.
The advice I'd have for anyone that wants to become a military nurse is to definitely go for it. I've got a lot out of my 38 years with the Army. Some of my very closest friends are from the Army. You share things that you don't share with your civilian friends. So things like running to the trenches when the sirens are going, or doing security duty at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the woods when you're on exercise. Not sort of things you'll actually do with civilian friends. So you get a very strong bond from that point of view. I've also been to a lot of countries, not just Iraq and Afghanistan and Oman, but I've been to Canada, to Poland, to Germany, to Malta, Belgium. And I've done things that I might not have done otherwise. I learnt to downhill ski and cross-country ski, sailing, rock climbing, abseiling, kayaking, all those sorts of things I've done with the Army.
Speaking for myself, I've had an absolute amazing time. I've met some of my best friends. It's amazing how you bond when you're sitting in a ditch in the pouring rain. So I've met friends for life. I met my husband through being an Army nurse. And I've had some absolute fantastic experience, both in deployment, but also advanced training, learning skills that can transition to your civilian career. It's been an absolute amazing privilege to be an Army nurse.
I would think long and hard, because it is a tough life, and you need to discuss your intentions with your family, particularly if you're married or you have a partner and children, because you will be expected to deploy, even when we're not in war fighting. You will deploy for long periods, hopefully only for weeks, but sometimes months. But it is rewarding. I would obviously research as deeply and widely as you can. There's plenty of information on the internet, but if you know somebody who served or is serving, then get in touch with them and discuss it in detail.
It's difficult for me to say about joining up now, because I don't entirely know what it's like now. Because what I do know is it's changed significantly since I was in the 80s, from the point of view that there are no solely military hospitals left, really. I think most situations now are sort of placements, and you're placed alongside NHS hospitals. I think it's at Birmingham, I think is one of the main Army ones. So difficult for me to say, but what I would say is if the thought of military nursing is tempting, if it's anything as good as it was when I was in, then I would absolutely say go for it, because everything that you hear, and that I should imagine as a civilian, you probably think, oh, for God's sake, shut up. They're going on about it again. You know, the camaraderie, the support that you give one another. But that was so true. We did become one another's family. And I don't know, I'm imagining it must be similar today, but I genuinely don't know exactly what it's like because of how you nurse nowadays for the military. But yeah, it's like anything. I'm sure there are pros and cons, but if it's the kind of life that might suit you, it's a brilliant place to be. And there's so much you can do. And I would definitely recommend it. I had the best time. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
If I had to give any advice to anybody that wanted to join the military as a nurse, I'd say go ahead with it, try it. If you're thinking about it, give it a go. I enjoyed my time I did a year in the reserves before I joined the regulars as a commissioned officer. I enjoyed it so much, I thought, yeah, that's the life for me. It's great. You get to do things that you would never normally do. You get to have experiences that you wouldn't get anywhere else, and you get paid for it. And I thought that was fantastic. I remember walking across Salisbury Plain in the sunshine with a big weight on my back, and the corporal next to me said, "How's it going?" And I said, "I'm really enjoying it," because I could have been working on NHS ward that day, and actually I was walking across Salisbury Plain, getting a tan and seeing the wildlife, and it was fantastic. And you've got to be positive about things that you do. So going to places, going to different countries is an opportunity.